Well, earlier today, an email came in asking about bullet molds for Mosin, and I'm just getting ready to cast them with this 45. So I will go through it when, well, this is heating up. Okay, the one that really, the Lee ones, of course, are the cheapest. Now, I use this C3112, and that actually is a 312 bullet. They're 185 grain, and they look like this, though this one has already got wax on it, so it might be a little. But the other option is the 155 grain. Now they really, they say they're 312 too, but they actually are more like 311. And that could be just a difference, in that I lucked out and got a mold that throws a little bit bigger. But those are pretty much your two reasonable options. This one I put a gas check on. This one doesn't have. And in fact, this bullet is the one where I modified my mold and removed the gas check area. This is one that's been fired. So you can't see the grooves at all. But that works for what I use that for, that 155. But this is probably your best bet, is the 312. The other option is that 314-299 Lyman mold. And that's a nice bullet. And it works in the Mosin. The one thing I do like, it's a little bit longer. Because sometimes on these, you really end up pushing them up a ways to get the right length on the bullet. It's a good bullet, but what I really, it's an expensive mold. And what I really got that for is the Argentine Mosin. And they work in that. But, they are a good 314. Well, not really. But, like I say, this particular mold that I got anyway, it throws a good 312. But they weren't quite big enough for the Argentine. But they work at a Mosin. And the Lee molds are reasonably priced. That's the big deal about them. And as far, you mentioned about gas checking. Like I say, on this 155, I actually removed that gas check area on my mold, so I don't bother with them. But, I do it, and I do size them, but the only reason I'm sizing them is to put the gas check on. Like this, when I sized it, I used the 314 sizing die, so it never even touched the bullet, but it crimped the gas check on. That's the only reason I did it. But most of the time, these Lee bullets, when they come out of the mold, are good enough. You really don't have to size them, unless you're doing like the gas checks and stuff. But otherwise, I wouldn't, though the Lee sizing stuff is really cheap. And it's as simple, as long as you got a press, it's easy to put the gas check on. And I don't think they're more than about 20 bucks for the sizing die. Works really well. But really, in a Mosin, most of the time when you're using cast bullets, you're doing pretty much reduced loads. They're not moving that fast. They really don't have to be gas checked. If you're trying to move them faster, they go nuts on you anyway. I really haven't found a bullet setup that I can really push in the Mosin. You always end up loading them light, jacking your sight up, and kind of lobbing them in. It works a little better when I run these, these 155s with no gas check. It works a little better because it's a light bullet. But there's no real good answer for the Mosin. But, I think, Gun Geek was talking about this the one day, about barrel twist in a rifle, matching it up to bullet weight and stuff. Now, I'm really no expert on that. But I have noticed, guns that are set up to shoot cast lead bullets, like my 32 Special or my 45-70, they've got a slow twist in the barrel. They love cast bullets. They work great in them. But on a gun that's got a faster twist in the barrel, you start trying to push these lead ones at any speed, they just go nuts on you. I mean, I've had them the one time I was shooting, I quit because they were way too unpredictable. I didn't care for that at all. You know, it seemed to me pointless and, matter of fact, rather dangerous. I'm about ready to get at this. But that's the mold that I would recommend. C312-185-1R. Cheap mold, and I wouldn't be afraid to run them without gas checks, and I wouldn't bother sizing them.